um, for the Hype Collective. So if you guys don't know what that is or what that, um, what's behind me, all the things. So the Hype Collective it's a group coaching program. It's a membership for real estate agents that I'm going to be doing 2 group coaching sessions a month with you guys. And you get access to this vault. So behind me is just like some screenshots of some different areas in the vault and of the things that are in there that you get access to instantly when you sign up for the Hype Collective membership. So you get access to this vault, and this vault is living, growing, breathing. And my team and I are constantly adding value to it for you guys to implement into your business. And it's things that are um, it's high level stuff. So we're talking like chat GPT courses, systems, processes, scripts, like all the things that if you just took this vault and this is all you had, it is worth more than just what the cost of the membership is. And the cool part about it is before we even start our first coaching call with this program, which is going to be the oh my gosh, is it next week? That's exciting. It's the second, oh no, it's not next week, it's the week after. It's the 13th of May is going to be the very first group coaching session that we have through the Hype Collective. And so even before we get started with the group coaching stuff, you guys are going to have access to this vault that you can look at. You can start using it right away, read through it. It'll take you like weeks to get through all of it, let alone implementing everything in there. So you get a chance to get a sneak peek into everything that we're going to be talking about, all the topics, all the things that you're going to learn, that we're going to strategize together. And then you also get access to a private area in my Discord channel where you can collaborate with everyone that's a part of the Hype Collective. And what's really cool is that there's a virtual office in there. So anytime that you want to pop in and collaborate with all the other members, or you can do scripts and role play, you can send referrals, get referrals, tons of just cool ways to network it and communicate with everyone that's a part of the Hype Collective. So you kind of have this 3-pronged approach, which actually happens to mirror how I coach and train real estate agents with their lead generation systems. Is you should have at minimum 3 lead generation systems. I like the number 3. Think of it like a stool. Okay. So like the minimum number of legs that you need to sit on a chair is 3. Okay. So that theme is kind of throughout a lot of the things that I do. But so 3 lead generation pillars, and the pillars that you get a part of the Hype Collective, you get the live group coaching. Okay. So somebody that I've been in the business for over 13 years. I have sold hundreds of, if not thousands of homes. And I've been on teams. I've been solo. I've built my own teams. Currently I run 3 teams in 3 different states. So I've got Washington, Oregon, and Florida. So I run local teams there, and I coach and train real estate agents all over the nation. So you get the live coaching from me. You get this vault, which is the hands-on, the tools, the values, the systems, all of the things that you need to operate in your business, and you get the community. So we have community, we've got the tools, systems, like hands-on resources, and you get the live coaching. Thank you so much, It's Giving History. Welcome to the chat. As always, what's up, Stylish Bear? How you guys doing? Hello. So yeah, just like I coach and train my agents to have 3 pillars of lead generation, this has 3 pillars for your group coaching experience. So the vault is fire. Yes, the people who have access to it, those of you on here who are already a part of the Hype Collective, feel free to give your comments in here and let me know what you think. But so far, you guys, the overwhelming response that I'm getting from the people who have access to this vault is like insanely helpful. Like you guys can go read literally real time. I put in there reviews of this vault. We haven't even started the group coaching stuff yet. And already I'm getting feedback on this vault that you see here behind me. And this is just a tiny snapshot of all the stuff that's in there. It's Giving History. The vault is massive. I feel like I need a Dora's map, seriously. So before I get into this, because I'm going to give you guys what's going to look like to get coached by me. I want to talk about the neuroscience of closing today, which is it's a little bit heady, but it's super, super important to understand this so that, you know, when you go to do anything, like we should always be closing, right? ABC, always be closing in real estate. But it's really important to understand behaviors and how the brain works and how to communicate, knowing all of those things when we're talking with our clients, because we don't just, it's not about the close, it's about building relationships. And you can do that better if you know how people operate, how they think, what their patterns are. And so I thought that would be kind of a fun thing to go over today and show you guys, some of the stuff that I teach and I coach and I train on. So we're going to go over that in a second, but I at least wanted to give you guys that are popping in here right now, like an idea of what the Hype Collective looks like, what you get, the strategy behind it, the reason behind it. Everything that my team and I build is on purpose. There is meaning behind it. It's not just like, oh, I think this is what people know. Like, no, we actually collect data, and I have a lot of it, not only because of my 13 years of experience selling hundreds and hundreds of homes. So I have that experience, yes, but I also know that what's going on today in today's market? What are the pain points? What are agents struggling with right now? And not only like do I know that because I'm a real estate agent and I have teams and I've been doing this for a long time, but I am actively on a daily basis talking to real estate agents all over the nation. And when you guys sign up for the Hype Collective, I have you fill out a questionnaire. It's like 20 plus questions that gives me a really, really good insight into what's going on in your business. And then I take all of those responses. Yes, I read all of them. And then I will custom tailor my group coaching sessions that are upcoming based on what it is that you guys want and what you need. So everything that I do has intention behind it. My team, we all understand we have this vision. We want to help real estate agents. We want to be a part of the solution. We want to make sure that like this industry elevates its reputation, that we're doing things with high integrity, and that we're collaborating with people that are good humans and that want to genuinely help other people, because I cannot imagine like being like anything greater. Well, I can imagine some things, but like one of the main reasons why I love real estate is that I get the opportunity to have a massive impact on somebody's wealth and their opportunity and ability to grow that. And so I think that if we take the perspective as real estate agents, that instead of just chasing after a check, like you're going to get limited results if like that's the only reason why you're at it. And like, of course, get your bag. Absolutely. Let's go. I love real estate. It allows me and affords me the type of lifestyle I want. Yes. But I think that you are going to be able to grow that even more if you actually are focused on how do I help other people get what they want so that I can get what I want. So others first, it's service forward, and then you're going to get whatever it is that you want. That your success is proportionate to the value that you provide. So the more value you provide people, then the more that you're going to get in return. I'm a big believer in that. And so everything, all the coaching that I do, these resources that I give you guys, that is the mindset that we have behind that. So just wanted to give you guys a quick little intro to that before we get into the neuroscience of closing. So for those of you just popping on, we are in our pre-launch phase of the Hype Collective, which is a group coaching membership that you get. So I'm going to be doing live group coaching twice a month with you guys. There's going to be plenty of time with Q&A. Those of you that sign up the fastest are going to be entered into, I'm going to draw some names to do some hot seat stuff. So you might even get a chance to get some one-on-one coaching with me within that group coaching session. So you get to some direct help specifically for your business, and doing that is going to help everybody else too. So lots of fun little things I'm going to be doing throughout those coaching sessions, and you get access to this insane vault. Let me just show you really quick before I dive in here the topics, like just some of the folders that are in this vault, so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Because you're like, Jen, I can't read what's on the screen there. I know, it's because there's so much freaking information in there that it is overwhelming, which is a good thing. Okay, let me get to my quick links here. Okay, so this vault, you guys, as soon as you sign up for the Hype Collective, which by the way, because we're in pre-launch stage, I am throwing out some discounts for you guys. Some of you have gotten 30, 40, 50% off. Well, today we are doing a 20% off today, and the code is HYPE20, HYPE20 to get 20% off today. So don't wait, because that discount is going to dwindle the closer that we get to our very first coaching session, which is March. No, not March. We are way past March. We are in May. It's not going to be May. It is May. May 13th is going to be our first live group coaching session. Yes, collaborative learning. Absolutely. So, so get your 20% off code HYPE20, HYPE20 to get 30% off at checkout. Okay. So in this vault, you guys, so first of all, just so you guys can see, this is all the folders, you guys, that are in there, and we're constantly adding to it daily. So just to give you a snapshot, we've got mindset and sales psychology. We're going to be talking a little bit about that today. Buyer systems, ChatGPT courses, client retention and loyalty systems, investor stuff, lead conversion, lead generation, leveraging systems, listing systems, luxury systems, marketing and social media The monthly coaching replays, I'm going to be recording all of the group coaching sessions that I do, uploading them into here. So if you have to miss one, no big deal. You can pop it back in here, watch it anytime. We've got open house systems, productivity systems, a scripts vault, and tools and templates. So tons and tons of stuff, you guys. And anytime you open up these folders, it opens up to even more stuff. So I'll dive into more of that later, but just wanted to give you guys a really good picture about what you're going to get by being part of the Hype Collective. So today, Hype 20 is your code to get 20% off. Run and go grab that because that discount's going to keep decreasing until we hit our first launch of our group coaching sessions. So the group coaching twice a month, the vault, and you get access to everyone in the Hype Collective community in a private area of my Discord channel. So, and then really quickly, so to go get that, you guys click on thank you for the roses, K-Tran, appreciate you. So if you go to my profile link, it's the Linktree link in any of my social media platforms. And the very first button is going to be the Hype Collective. You click on that, it brings you open to a page that shows you all the things that you get. When you click buy now, it's going to take you to the purchase checkout section. Make sure that you apply the code first. So put in Hype 20 to get that 20% off. It'll auto update the pricing there, and then you can pick whether you want to pay monthly or for the full year upfront. So thank you. It's Giving History. There is your code Hype 20 there in the chat. All right, so let's get into this, you guys. These are some of the things. This is just a little sample for you guys of what I'm going to be coaching on. This is just one little tiny area. So the neuroscience of closing. Let's lock in. And this is not just like another surface level mindset talk type of thing. There's a time and place for that, absolutely. But this is the real science behind why your buyers ghost you or freeze mid-decision or get fixated on dumb stuff like a scuffed baseboard or whatever. We've all had those clients, right? And so this is how you, the professional, are supposed to guide them through that. So we're going to learn how the brain actually works in those high stake decisions, because they are like, to somebody, if a scuffed baseboard is a big deal, it's a big deal, right? Our perceptions are our reality, and that's how it is for our clients. So we're not going to be talking woo-woo stuff, not vibes, but like the actual neuroscience that translates into closing. So if you've ever had a deal die on something that didn't make logical sense, that wasn't you, that was your client's brain. But now you're going to learn how to outsmart that. So I'm going to talk fast here because there's a lot to get through. And there will be science, there will be scripts. And yes, you'll finally understand why your client said, I need to think about it, and then just never came back. Because we've all experienced that. If you've been in real estate for 5 minutes, like, you understand that you're going to get pushback, you're going to get objections. So feel free to pop your questions in the chat as we're going along. I'll try to go back and forth between that. So obviously chat's open the whole time, and you can let me know your feedback. So First part of all of this is like why buyers' brains screw them over and how we can help them. Okay, so every buyer walks into a showing with 3 brains fighting for that control. Okay, and you can think about this as any client, but I'm trying to give you a specific example. So just imagine a buyer, and they're going to walk in to a showing, let's say. And there's 3 different brains that are fighting over control that are inside. The first is what we call the lizard brain. This is like survival mode. Okay. They're scanning for danger. Something feels off, like that kind of gut reaction type of a buyer. So if you hear terms like that, like, something just feels off, or I can't quite pinpoint it, or whatever, that person in that moment is using their lizard brain. And all of us switch back and forth between these. But that's, if you're hearing those types of things, you can know and trigger, they're using their lizard brain right now. The second type is the memory brain. And this is the limbic part of the brain, which is emotional recall that ties spaces to feelings. So this is like the feeling part of the brain, or memory brain. Okay. And then the third is the logic brain. And that's where people are using their prefrontal cortex. And these are the people that know that they're in charge and thinks that it's in charge, but spoiler alert, it's not. So this is what this looks like in real life. Let's just say you've got a couple, they walk in, wife is, crying in the kitchen. She feels like, this is my grandma's house. This is just like what, I used to remember when I went into her house, right? Okay. So what is that's the limbic brain, the memory brain, right? The emotional recall of something in the past. Okay. So what that's doing, the limbic brain is flooding that lady with oxytocin and she's ready. Okay. Right. So if you get someone in that part of their brain, their memory brain, they are locked, loaded. They're like, yes, this is the one. Okay. Actually, funny story. My mom just bought a house with her husband, and she was telling me what she was saying because I wasn't there. They were at an open house, and she was telling me what she was telling because it was a for sale by owner. Anyways, long story. And I'm like, Mom, you said all of that. Like, she just was telling me how, like, so excited she was. And oh my gosh, I could do this here and I could put my this there. And ooh, this room feels like this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, this is the house that they're buying. Like, she's in. Okay. So then now imagine the husband then stares at the ceiling and he's like, is that popcorn texture? Is that popcorn texture I see there? Right. Or you got the critical one. Uh, then you're done, right? Like, if you got one person that's like pointing out something, that's the amygdala hijack. That's the fight or flight, right? They fear saw a flaw and blew it up, and logic shut it down. Okay, so and then these are all things that you guys can probably relate with of when people say certain things when they walk into a showing. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And now, knowing those three parts of the brain and what people are thinking with, now you can pinpoint it and then know how to handle that. So this is the brain chemistry of home buying. So when we introduce stress, mortgage rates, bidding wars, down payments, all of that, the brain literally changes. So blood is leaving the prefrontal cortex, the amygdala kicks into hypervigilance mode, and the hippocampus starts pulling old trauma files. Like, ooh, remember that old moldy apartment back in 2009? This one has that same vibe. I could recognize that smell from anywhere, right? And the result of that is that they panic, delay, overanalyze. And you're thinking like, but wait, this is their dream house. Their brain is saying, danger, this is permanent. What if we mess all of this up? And boom, it's over. Okay. So I have to give you guys this is one of the craziest things that happened to me. And I like didn't know what was going on, but it describes what I'm talking about or exactly. So I had buyers, literally back out of a $940,000 deal over the sound of a doorbell. I'm dead serious. Okay, so what happened was we were at the showing, and we, did not ring the doorbell at that point. But anyways, we were under contract with it, and the wife, when we went there for the home inspection, the inspector rang the doorbell because that's just one of the little things that the inspectors check. And the inspector rang the doorbell while we were inside, and the wife totally just like got startled by it, and she was like, it just totally threw her off. And in her mind, she decided like, oh, they cheaped out on that. And if they cheaped out on the doorbell, what else did they skimp on? No joke. They walked, you guys. They walked away because of a stupid doorbell chime. I mean, and because what happened was that triggered something in her brain to be like, that's cheap and that's weird. Like, why would they have chosen that? And then every single little thing on the inspection report, even though they were little things, they blew them up, and they were all of a sudden big things. So the problem is I didn't know that that's what was going on, so I didn't know how to handle that at the time. And what ended up happening after that is that, looking back, I know now that that's what happened, but they didn't tell me. Like, they had that conversation about the fact that that doorbell thing really freaked her out, and that was a private conversation they had after all of it. And so when they came to me after like all the inspection, all that, they were like, you know what, we're just not really feeling it. I think we're going to keep looking. And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And so, like, whatever. I mean, I gotta do what the client wants to do. They're like, This is not the one. Okay, on to the next." And they didn't care about paying $1,000 for, the inspection report. They're like, "Yeah, we're just not feeling it. Just, just too many things, whatever." Okay. And it wasn't until later, like until I actually found them a home where we ended up talking about, they're like, "Yeah, this is kind of like what triggered that for us." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." But it's because the logical brain, what they use the logical brain to justify the emotional freak out. Okay. So they decided to nitpick on the inspection report based off of her emotional reaction to something that she didn't like. She got triggered by it. You cannot logic someone back into buying a house. Okay. You have to re regulate their nervous system and let their decision center come back online. Okay. So knowing these things, just having an understanding of it is going to help you improve how you can tackle or re engage somebody based on what brain they're using when they make a decision. So asking better questions, things like that will help you back that up. If you've had a weird story like that, put it in the chat. I would love to know. Okay, so let's simplify this neuroscience for you guys. When stress is high, cognition is low. And what that means is that the amygdala hijacks the show. It sees shadows, not facts, right? It's like, ooh, scary. Something's not like red alert. And you can't focus on the facts that are in front of you. The hippocampus reaches for fear-based patterns. We like what we're used to. And the prefrontal cortex, the only part that makes smart decisions, it goes offline. Okay. So when the amygdala hijacks what's going on or what the situation is, prefrontal cortex gets turned off, which is our logical brain that we want people to be in when they're making big decisions like this. Your job, you guys, isn't just to sell houses. Your job is to bring the logic brain back online. You're the nervous system whisperer. Okay, think of it like that. So if you guys are just joining, I am giving you guys I'm doing a topic that I think is really important. It's the neuroscience of closing. And this is, just a little sample of what I'm going to be coaching you guys on and giving you information to help you help your clients make really good decisions when they're going out there and buying and selling homes. So if you want access to this, if you're like, yes, Hype Collective is for me, you can go to my profile link and click on my link tree and sign up. And right now you're getting a 20% off code because we're going to be launching our first coaching session May 13th. It's every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. I'm going to be doing the group coaching sessions that are live, and then I'll record them and pop them into this vault for you. You also get access to this vault instantly right when you sign up, which has a ton of stuff in it for you guys to implement right away in your business. It's insane. There are so many things here for you guys. Adrian, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Glad you guys are here. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Fahim. Nice to have you guys here. So we've got the live coaching sessions with me twice a month. We've got this vault that you get access to right away when you sign up, and you're going to get access into my Discord channel, a private area where all the Hype Collective members are going to be at. There's a virtual office in there for you to collaborate, send and receive referrals, talk more in depth about these things that I'm going to be coaching on, collaborate, all the things. So if you want to get 20% off, go do it now, because I'm going to be decreasing and getting rid of these discount codes for you guys once we start the coaching on May 13th. So run and go grab that. Hype 20 is your code to get 20% off. Okay, so let's get back to it. So what are the red flags that we need to listen for when someone's brain is in that panic mode? So we're just going to wait. It's probably not the right time. Something doesn't feel right. This paint color is just kind of throwing me off, or like we just need to sleep on it. Those types of things, those are your red flags. Those are your indicators that, okay, they're in panic mode. Their amygdala is taking over. We need to get them back into prefrontal cortex land. Every one of these is code for my brain is hijacked. I don't feel safe making this decision right now. It doesn't mean that they never or won't ultimately do it, but that's what's going on. And if you argue with them or you push too hard, you're going to confirm that feeling. They're going to dig deeper into that. Okay. So we need to get their prefrontal cortex, their logic brain turned back on. Okay. Let's see. The other thing too is that when they're in that state of where the amygdala has hijacked their logic brain, and you argue with them and push too hard and they dig in, now you're unsafe too. Now you become a red flag to them or a threat to whatever their emotion is telling them, because that emotion is really, really, really strong. And your number one mistake that I see agents doing is you just start to pile on the logic. Okay. Well, it's like, oh, well, you could refinance later. Don't worry about that. Prices are only going up. You should buy now. Well, it's just paint. You can change that, right? Like that's your initial response to someone that's making an emotional statement or using emotion to justify something. You just do not just start to pile on logic. Okay. We need to guide our clients back into them having the logic brain. So those things like combating it with logic doesn't work, because you're talking to a part of their brain that's shut off. Their logic center is offline and you are trying to communicate to it, and it's not. It's like trying to access the internet when your Wi-Fi router went out. Okay, that's exactly what you're doing. So what do we do instead? You meet them in their nervous system and de-escalate the amygdala first, and then rewire their scene. But we're not there yet. Right now, I want you to start thinking about and start watching and noticing your clients. Like, be the neuroscientist, take mental notes. Are they rubbing their face? That's overstimulation. We talk about stimming a lot. Okay, like do they have certain things that they do, or like a tick or whatever that shows that like they're nervous? Okay, they're overstimulated. Are they walking slower? That is actually the dorsal vagal shutdown, which is like a low energy freeze state. Like if someone's just kind of slow mode, slow energy type of thing, that can be one of the reasons why they're doing it. Or are they speeding up? Are they talking fast? That could be a fight or flight surge that's happening right then. So learn people's tells, and it's easy. Obviously, the more that you engage with them, the more you interact with them, you're going to be able to learn what those tells are for that particular person. But if you know just some of these, then you can identify it right away. Then we can dig into like how do we pull someone out of the amygdala hijack and back into them using their prefrontal cortex to make decisions. So you guys, we're not in sales anymore. We're in a trauma-informed persuasion category. And this is high level stuff. This is the type of things that's going to just level up. You could be a great salesperson, but if you know how to implement these types of strategies and understand what's going on a neurological level and how to help people out of this, like it is going to be next level for you. So here's a little preview of what's next. So let's talk about the fear killer protocol and how exactly you pull people out of that like emotional state of decision making into logic. So I'm going to give you a 5-step sequence that actually pulls that buyer out of the panic mode and back into logical decision making mode without feeling pushy or being defensive. Okay, so we're talking literal brain hacks to build trust, and you're future pacing them and closing those emotional loops for them. And I'm going to give you the exact scripts and some case studies so that you can understand fully what I'm talking about. Okay. This is where the actual magic happens. This is where you stop reacting to buyer fear and start orchestrating the emotional safety, which is what they need. They may not realize it, but that's what they need. We are literally hacking nervous systems right now. Okay. So here's your 5 steps for the fear killer protocol. Okay. And this toolkit is for when your client is spiraling, but trying to sound rational. Okay. We all know, like, if any of you have kids, like the toddler that's like screaming and they're in like major just, like over the fact that you cut the apples the wrong way. Okay. You can't just tell them calm down in that moment. You have to wait, help them regulate out of that, and then you can say, hey, you know what, I can cut them differently right now for you. What do you need about this apple to be different so that you're not a crying mess? Okay. So we need to just wipe our vocabulary about buyers being flaky or liars or whatever. Like those types of things aren't going to actually help you. What it is that they're scared and they don't know that they're scared. Okay. Similar to like a toddler having an insane reaction over apples being cut the wrong way. And your job isn't to argue them back into buying, it's to regulate their brains so they can actually make a logical decision. So step 1 is sensory anchoring. If you're taking notes or you're on your phone, you can write down step 1 is the sensory anchoring. So you can say something like, before we talk numbers, let's ground ourselves. Feel this ground. Like, again, I know this sounds a little woo-woo, but just trust me on this. So let's say you're in that house and you see them going off on the like emotional derail. Before we talk numbers, let's ground ourselves. Feel this granite countertop. Hear how quiet it is right now? Take in the light through that window. Does this feel like a space you could breathe in? Now, here's why this works. This is somatosensory cortex. It overrides the fear with touch and sensory data, and it's pulling them out of the abstract what ifs and into the now. Okay. So it's giving their nervous system a reason to say, we're safe here. So having them, and again, it doesn't have to be the granite, it doesn't have to be the light, but helping them refocus on their senses of what they're hearing, seeing, smelling, seeing right now helps with that. So for example, smell, that's a good one too. There's a little bonus tip. So smell, like new paint, fresh wood, neighbor's barbecue, whatever, that stuff can help bypass like and speak directly to the limbic system because it puts them in a state of right now, not focused on whatever it is that they're afraid of. Okay. So here's like another script variation for you. If all we did today was just stand here and notice the peace in this living room, that would be enough. No pressure. Just want you to feel it first. Okay. So if they're hijacked over something that's not important and their emotions are taking over about something that doesn't really matter, pull them back in using one of the 5 senses to get them to kind of help them de-escalate on that. Okay. So that's the first part of the sensory anchoring. So using one of the 5 senses to pull them back into reality. Okay, then step 2 of this is future pacing. So an example would be like, close your eyes for 3 seconds. It's Sunday morning, you're barefoot in the kitchen, there's music playing, coffee brewing, kids are asleep. How does that feel here in this space? Okay, so you're getting them to imagine that they're in that house and that they bought it. Okay, this works because it triggers dopamine, which gives anticipation. It also brings in oxytocin. We hear that like the love hormone, but that provides bonding, and then serotonin on top of that, which is contentment. So dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin is all wrapped into just getting them and getting them to future cast. Like what would this feel like, or what would this be like for you if you were to be in this house and you owned it? And then the brain literally starts filling the home under mine. So or like it starts filing the home under mine when you get them to imagine it's mine. And so some of these things, you guys, you might be thinking, what this feels a little bit weird, a little bit woo woo. And again, take these scripts and make them something that sounds like you, could be like you. These are just like really quick examples to help you do that. But when you're in conversation, you can actually do this even if their brain hasn't been hijacked by their amygdala, and even if they're not in fight or flight. But like, imagine if you walked into all the different showings that you had and you created, like, let's say the living room was kind of the highlight of the house and it was a really cool space for gatherings, and it was an open concept and whatever, and that for that particular family that you're showing, like, they host a lot of events. Okay, so help them visualize what their future could look like in that house, and maybe you do that at certain points or certain places that highlight the best features of that house, and have them imagine something in their future as if they already had that. So their brain will literally start filing that home under their own, and then you'll be able to find out. And obviously they're not going to feel that way in every home, but you're going to know a lot quicker, and you're going to be able to tear up that listing, or, okay, that's not the one if you can't imagine yourself being here and living here. I actually had a buyer who could not get past, and if you've been in real estate for any length of time, you probably experienced this too. A buyer of mine could not get past the exterior of this house. That, like, everything about it was absolutely perfect, but they're just like, ugh, this paint color sucks. Like, it just whatever. And I'm just like, no, no, no. And I knew, I'm like, this is the one, like, we've been looking for a while. Right. And so I did this exact exercise. I said, okay, close your eyes. I want you to imagine Christmas lights wrapped around those beams at night. Your dog's in a sweater on the porch. You're waving at your neighbors, like, whatever. I created some sort of, but I allowed her to envision it, not as it was, but what it could be. And also the mental picture that I allowed her to imagine was nighttime Christmas lights are on, right? So, like, and she laughed, right? And that actually was the trigger point where she got over it, and they ended up buying the house. So, like, here's the thing of when you're future casting, it does require work. You have to know your client and what's important to them to be able to do this effectively. So some of these may sound like, like, how could I use that? Or that sounds silly. But if you know your client and you know what their pain points are, you know their motivation, you understand in depth what their must-haves are. And if you know a particular property checks off all those boxes, except this one little thing that's like, it can be changed, or, they can work on it down the road or whatever, that is up to you to then take these principles and plug it in and apply it where it works, and see those results. And if it's not, it doesn't mean it's going to work every time they're going to buy that house that you think is the one for them, but it's going to increase your chances that they actually end up getting something that they really do want, and help them get over something about that house that is really not that big of a deal. So step 3 is emotional translation. Oh, 1 second. I'm getting an important phone call. Hello, darling. Got it. Okay. Fantastico. Thank you so much. Okay. So if you guys are just joining in here, I'm getting deep within the neuroscience. I love this kind of, I'm such a nerd. I could talk about this all day, but you guys are here like, Jen, why are we talking about this? So we're talking about the neuroscience of closing. Also, want you guys to know, these are just some of the topics that I'm going to be talking about when we're doing group coaching stuff with you guys inside the Hype Collective. So what the Hype Collective is a group coaching membership. So twice a month live, I'm going to be doing group coaching with you guys. You're going to get access to this vault, which is insane. So if you're looking at this behind me, This is just a little tiny little snapshot of all of the stuff that is in the vault, and you get instant access to it as soon as you sign up. You don't have to wait for our first group coaching session to get it. You will be able to see it, go through it, start using it right away. You also get access to the private area in my Discord channel for the Hype Collective members only. So you get community, you get the tools and resources, and you get the live group coaching every single month, twice a month. So how you sign up is you go to my profile link and any of my socials, click on my link tree. The very first button is going to be the Hype Collective membership. It's going to pull open a web page that tells you all the things that you get with it. And then if you want 20% off, which I highly recommend, why not? Love a discount. Today I'm doing 20% off. The code is Hype20. Thank you so much. It's Giving History in the chat. Hype20 to get 20% off today, you guys, as we inch closer to our first group coaching session with the Hype Collective. That discount is going to get increasingly less and less and less until it's not on sale anymore. So right now with this, with the pre-launching situation, you get 20% off. So go get Hype20 when you go to checkout. Make sure you apply the code first and then pick whether you want to pay monthly or if you want to pay for the full year upfront. So go grab that, you guys. All right, so let's pop back into this. Okay, so we are going over the 5 steps here to kill fear and bring people from their amygdala brain of like the emotion center, like fight or flight stuff, back into our logic brain, which is where we make the best decisions, is in our logic brain. And most people don't understand this or have context for the neuroscience behind decision making. So you, as a real estate agent, if you have these tools, this knowledge, and you implement it and you know how to use it, you're going to help your clients make better decisions. And that's the whole idea. That is what is going to keep real estate agents around, is utilizing things like this and leveling up your skills to actually provide value, not just be a door opener. Okay. So we're talking about the five-step fear killer protocols, what I like to call it. So number 1 was the sensory anchoring. Okay. Using their 5 senses to draw them back from, like being emotional to what's going on right now and turning back on their prefrontal cortex brain. Okay. Then we future pace. You help them imagine what it would feel like if they owned this house. Okay. So you're having them in the future, imagine what it would be like to own that house. And then number 3 is the emotional translation. Okay. So what you do with this, you might say something like, you keep circling back to the price, but I think what you're really asking is, will I feel stupid later if I say yes? Is that fair? Okay. So this works because it turns a logical objection, price, right, into a safe emotional admission, like what they're really thinking about that. So it disarms ego and invites honesty without shaming people. And it helps the buyer feel seen, not just sold to, right? You're not just talking about, oh, you're worried about the price. Well, we could do this and this and this to help you with that. Or like, isn't it worth it? Right? No. I hear you. I hear you keep circling back to the price, but I think you're really asking is, will I feel dumb later if I say yes, or is this not a good deal, because of the price or whatever. So call out that feeling beneath the question or beneath whatever it is that they're focused on always. So here's a couple examples of scripts by emotion that you can use. Is it about the money, or is it about not wanting to feel trapped again? Ooh. Or you're saying not ready, but I don't want to screw up. Am I on the right track here? Or sounds like you're not asking if the house is right. You're asking if you are. Okay. So again, there's so many different variations that you can do that. But the idea is that you, instead of focusing on not necessarily what they say, but like, what are their behaviors? What are they feeling behind the thing that they're stuck on? And then step 4 is the cognitive bridging. And this is what you say. Let's say it out loud. Worst case, you move in and it's not perfect. Then what? You'll adapt. You've done it before. You can refinance. You can sell it, right? So giving people options about worst case scenarios, and cognitively bridging what it is that their fear is. Tie it to, okay, well, what's the worst that can happen? Do we have plan A, B, and C in the event the worst case happens or that you hate it? And it works because it normalizes the fear and reactivates that prefrontal cortex, is what we're trying to get them to. And then it also creates a low stakes mental fail safe, because again, we already future casted, we brought their emotions back in, we future casted, addressed their feelings and the emotion, and now we're tying it back in by bringing it back to the prefrontal cortex, which is the logic brain of decision making. Okay. Another thing you can do to help them with this is using micro commitments. So, for example, let's just imagine we move forward today. nothing binding, but what would the next step be? Just walk me through that. Like, what would that look like for you if we took the next step? So you're helping minimize all the stress around this huge decision of buying this property, right? So let me just like imagine that we were going to move forward today. Imagine if this is the property that you wanted because it's sounding like it is. So what would the next step look like be for you in your mind, right? And again, you may know the answer to these questions, but sometimes you might find like, well, I don't know. What do we do? And then that's where you can step in, you provide the value, you help guide them into what that next step would be if they're not sure. And again, you're refocusing it into what matters. What is that next step? You're building safety in those steps, not just forcing them to leap into something because you've already addressed all of those things, bringing them back in. Yes. It says that I am. Ah, okay. Okay, cool. Bye. Okay, cool. I have to pop in. You know what? My team, you guys are the freaking best. They're like, your Instagram live isn't working. Okay, I'll pop in there right now. Doing that now. We want all the peeps. Oh, shoot. I have to log back in, Stylish Bear. I don't know what the password is. Anybody else? Like, what's my password again? No idea. Okay. Let's do this real quick. Thank you guys for a little clip. But by the way, while we're here, if you guys, oops, wrong one. If you guys want 20% off, the Hype Collective, go get 20% off by using code HYPE20 to get 20% off while I'm getting this set up. So if you're just joining the Hype Collective, we are in pre-launch stage. Our first group coaching session is going to be May 13th. Okay. So that's first, but you're not empty handed. When you sign up for the Hype Collective, you don't have to wait until the 13th. Okay. You get access to this vault that you're seeing behind me, which is just a few screenshots of all the value and the systems and the processes and the scripts and the ChatGPT courses and like all the things that you get inside. Let me just call her back really quick. I genuinely don't know my password for my Instagram account. Oh my goodness. Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. Bye. She's like, I already texted too. Check your text messages. You guys, literally, it takes a village. It takes a village to run this stuff. Trust. Okay. Let's go. Okay. We're getting there, you guys. We're going to pop back in. If you're just joining, we're talking all things Hype Collective. Yes, we are also talking about the neuroscience of closing. Okay. This is stuff, this is high level stuff that it will take your game, like even if you're good at where you're at, right? But understanding the neuroscience behind it all and how people like which part of the brain they're using when they're making decisions, or even when you're again like walking through a property, like the type of words that they say or like the visual cues that they do, is going to give you a lot of insight. And if you understand those three parts of the brain that make decisions that can hijack our decision making, you're going to be even better at pulling them back when you need to. Oops, that's not what I want to do. I just want to go live. Let's do that. The neuroscience of closing. All right, guys. We got it. I have 3 devices going right now of live. Fantastic. I should probably clean my screen. Anyways, it's not weird science. It's neuroscience. 100%. Love it. Okay. So let's keep going. Okay. So we are on step 5. We made it step 1 through 4. So let's just recap for you guys. So what we're talking about is the 5-step fear killer protocol for when someone they're in the fight or flight mode, they're in their emotional state, trying to make a decision, not a good place, and bringing them back to their prefrontal cortex, which is the logical part of our brain that actually makes the best decisions. Okay. So that 5-step sequence is number one, the sensory anchoring. So using the five senses to pull them back to reality, to pull them back to what's important. Then we future pace, which means you help them imagine something in the future as if they own that house, for example. And then the third step is the emotional translation. So taking like what it is that they're saying and tying that in emotionally, right? Like saying, you keep circling back to this thing, but what I think you're really saying is this. Am I on the right track there? Right. So helping them understand the emotional response that they're having. And then step 4 is the cognitive bridging. Okay. So normalizing their fear and reactivating that prefrontal cortex. And then step 5 is identity mirroring. So you would say something like, can I ask something big? When you picture yourself living here, does this feel like a home for the version of you you're becoming? Ooh, that's kind of cute. Okay, so again, doesn't have to be that exact question, but something like that, to bring it back to their identity. If someone can identify with something or identify with going on that particular vacation or identify with that type of home that they would live in, that's when you really got them. If they can identify with that, okay. So this works because the brain will always choose identity over logic. Who you identify as, who you are, the core belief systems that you are, those are deep rooted, okay. And so people will choose their identity over logic any day. And that type of script of like matching the type of house or whatever to their identity, if that mirrors who they think that they are, that who they are would live in a house like that, it engages the default mode network, the same part of the brain that runs self-concept. So it stops being about the house and it becomes about who they want to be or who they currently are. And a little add-on question you could to kind of drive this home is this the life you'd be proud to build here? Or are we still chasing the past version of what you thought you wanted? Okay, so things like that to tie in their identity when they're making that decision about that house. Um, Also too, like especially if it's buyers that are their move up house, or this is a big decision, maybe it's stretching their budget a little bit, right? You can say something like, this isn't about picking the perfect home, it's about choosing the version of your life you want to build inside it. Okay, so just cool stuff like that. Doesn't have to be woo woo. And again, you can say all this in your own brand, your own voice, your own tone, and whatever specific situation that you're in. So if you're just joining, what's up? Hi guys, hello. We are on all the places live right now. And today I am giving you guys just like a little mini coaching session about the neuroscience of closing, and also letting you guys know that you can get 20% off right now. The Hype Collective, we are in pre-launch phase. We got our first live group coaching session happening May 13th. So you are not too late to dive in. Also, I'm doing a 20% off code right now to hop into that. So Hype 20 is your discount code to get 20% off right now, before we launch our first live coaching session. So I'm super excited about that. But the Hype Collective is going to be group coaching with me twice a month. That's going to be live, and I'll record all of those and upload those into the vault so you can rewatch anytime. And then you get access to this vault. So behind me, on Instagram, I don't think you guys see it. Let me pop this up here so you guys can see what I'm talking about too. Okie dokie. Uno momento, por favor. Let me get you. Here it is. Okay. All right. So this snapshot that you're seeing, it's like a bunch of different screenshots of like all the folders and docs and all the things that you're going to be getting in the Hype Collective when you guys join. And what's cool is you get instant access to this vault as soon as you sign up. So I'm not waiting to give this to you until we have our first group coaching session. Not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. You get access to it right away. And in my Discord channel, there's going to be a private area for the Hype Collective members only. And there's a virtual office in there. You guys can collaborate. You can practice scripts together. You can talk more about these things that we're going to be talking about during the group coaching sessions. You can get referrals from people, network, like all the things of the agents that are a part of the Hype Collective. So you get the community, you get the actual tools and resources with the vault, and you get the live coaching sessions with me every single month. So that's what the Hype Collective is all about. So go to my profile link, and when you click on my link tree, the first button is the Hype Collective. When you click on that, it brings you to a web page that tells you all the things that you get with it that I'm talking about. checkout. And then when you go to checkout, then there will be a checkout page and you want to first input the code HYPE20 to get 20% off. And you input that first, and then it'll update the pricing so that it applies that 20% off. And so you can either pay monthly or for the full year upfront, whatever works best for you. So that's what we're talking about today. Let's dive back in to the neuroscience of closing. So now we have the 5-step like fear killing thing. So when someone's in fear mode about whatever, and you can tell that their emotional part of their brain is hijacked their decision making, using those 5 steps will help you pull them back into prefrontal cortex land, which is the logic part of the brain, which is where we want our clients to be making decisions. And it's where they want to, right? It's not just what we want because that's best for us. It's literally, we all make better decisions when we're using our prefrontal cortex and not when we're in fight, flight, or freeze mode. So let's put this all together. So for example, here is like a full script combo of how I would do this, just as an example. Okay. So let's just say I'm with the buyers, I'm in the house. Okay, let's pause. Just feel the space for a sec. Notice how quiet it is. Touch that island. That's real quartz. Now imagine it's your birthday next year. This is the house you wake up in. You smell the coffee, your kids banging on that pantry door because they hid your birthday present in there. You're home. You feel that, right? And I know the price is big, but is it really about the price, or is it about not wanting to screw it up? Because here's the truth. You've made big moves before and you handled it. So let me ask you the real question. Is this home for the person you are right now, or the person and family that you're becoming? That is an example of all 5 of those steps all in one script, just like that you can tweak, turn, match to whatever it is that their situation is. And it hit all of those points: the senses, the future casting, the bridging, the emotions to what's actually going on, and then their identity piece of that entire framework. If you deliver that combo, you've got a buyer who's regulated, they're emotionally engaged and ready to move forward, not because they were sold, but because they saw themselves in that story and they were able to imagine and envision it and identify with it. Okay. Now, if you say that whole spiel and you do that whole thing and they're like, no, like I can't see myself in here. Now that perfect. You have just made something that was, maybe like, I can't quite, to a hard no. Perfect. Be done with it. Move on. Go on to the next house. There's no more you need to. If you go through all 5 of those steps, and at the end of that, they're like, yeah, still feeling off. I don't imagine myself being here. Done. Like that's great. Awesome. We don't have to waste any more time here. Let's freaking go. And they're gonna be like, yeah, no, makes sense. So let's keep it rolling. This is where we flip the script, you guys, from just selling homes to directing emotional blockbusters in your buyer's head. It's a brain stage storytelling designed to make people feel like they already live there so that they can actually make a good decision that acknowledges their emotions, acknowledges their biggest pain points or what their questions are, and addresses them in a way where that you pull them back to that important part of the brain that actually helps them make good decisions with logic. Also, if you guys haven't gotten this yet, people don't buy facts. They buy feelings wrapped in scenes that star them. When do you buy things the most, right? I have gotten it. I literally will know that this is happening in my brain when I'm scrolling at late at night on socials and I see an ad that I've been seeing for like the last week. And yes, it is something I want because these algorithms are smarter and faster and quicker than all of us are in our brains. And I'm like, God, I've been wanting that thing. And it's like 11 p.m. and I'm scrolling and I'm like in that place, right? We've all felt that. So we make decisions emotionally and then we find facts to justify them. And I am the best justifier at night when I'm scrolling through and I'm getting these ads for items that and clothes and whatever it is that I want. Okay. So we can all relate to that. Your buyers are no different. Your clients are no different. Okay. So people buy feelings, people buy a story, right? We're compelled to take action when we have some sort of emotion or feeling tied to that thing that means something to us. So this information turns you into a memory architect. You're now directing scenes in your clients' lives that will live mentally long before they even sign anything. Okay. Like imagining this story in a house like this and imagining their future in it. You're not just walking them through square footage. You're actually walking them through their next chapter. And if you can get them to get on board with that and understand that, like you'll be unstoppable, and they will actually appreciate the value of helping them through that and actually making a good decision. Okay, so let's go through a couple steps here. So let's talk about what questions that we ask that are memory loaded, that aren't just about features, right? Because us as real estate agents, we can kind of get in task mode about, like, all these specs that they told us at the very beginning and and getting way too checklist item about it. So I want to give you some questions that are identity triggers that help you. So, for example, what's one ordinary moment you want here in 3 years? What does peace look like in your next home? If you could bottle one feeling you miss from your childhood home, what would it be? What's something you wish you had room for in your life right now? Those questions, way different sounding, and totally gets a different part of the brain going, than just like, how many bedrooms, bathrooms do you need? Does that check the box? Yep, this one checks the box. Totally different feeling as you're going through these properties and talking with your clients about what it is that they really want or what's important to them. And it works because it unloads what they call an episodic memory network and fires up mirror neurons, so they start living the vision, not just imagining it. It's actually they're envisioning themselves there, and it creates that emotional buy-in before the logistical buy-in, because we know that that's how our brains process things. We get the emotion first, and then we use logic to justify our decisions that we made emotionally. Okay. And so to build that scene, once you mine for the gold, you ask those questions. Now it's time to build that movie scene, so to speak. And you want 5 components of that. Okay. So the 5 components, and I'm going to have to wrap this up really quick. I have to go get my kids. Okay. So the 5 components about building a good movie scene: we've got a time anchor, action, setting feature, sensory detail, and emotional payoff. Okay. So those are the 5 aspects of creating the scene once you've got the emotional buy-in for whatever it is that you're doing. So, and in this example, we're talking about buyers making a decision. Okay. So, for example, this is like a template of how of a script of how you put that into play. So let's just say we are going to use that structure of that scene, the time anchor, action, setting, feature, sensory detail, emotional payoff, for a kitchen. Okay. So you're in a house, you're in the kitchen. It's Sunday morning. That's the time. You're barefoot in this kitchen, flipping pancakes on that gas range. That's the setting feature. Music's playing low. You can smell cinnamon. That's the sensory detail. You're not rushing anywhere. You're just home. That's the emotional payoff. The time, it's Sunday morning. Action, you're barefoot flipping pancakes. Okay. And then the sensory detail of listening to the music, smelling the cinnamon, and the emotional payoff of you're not rushing anywhere. You're just home. You're at peace. Okay. And then there's tons of different ways you can do it for a backyard. You can do it for a bedroom, right? And a bonus tip is to drop in their actual names. So, like using their name, everyone loves to hear the sound of their own name. Okay. So like, it's Christmas Eve, you and John are wrapping last minute gifts in that room while the kids are asleep down the hall. This house gives you that memory, doesn't it? Things like that. Okay. Do you guys kind of understand the framework for that? And if you're part of the Hype Collective, any of these coaching sessions that I do, you guys are going to get recaps. Like a lot of the stuff and the scripts and all of that are in the vault already. So you're going to be able to immediately go into the vault and go grab the scripts and the processes and the systems that I'm talking about in there, so that you can go grab those, use them right away, put them into your chat GPT, and have it spit out your own tone and your own brand voice, all of these scripts. So before I have to head out here, I got to go grab my kids. I didn't get a chance to finish all of this up, but I hope that not only was this helpful, but that you get a really good idea, a taste of like what it's like to be a part of the Hype Collective and the types of things that we're going to be talking about. There's so much more, you guys, than this. I just, decided to grab a topic that I think is, high level, and things that you guys should know to help you level up and to actually provide value. And understanding the neuroscience behind people's brains, behind how they work, how they make decisions, is going to make you a better agent. And yes, ultimately, like, close more deals, convert better. but you're actually helping your clients without them like even realizing it. Like you're helping them regulate their emotions and make logical decisions, which is the best part of your brain. That prefrontal cortex is what we want lit up when they're making big decisions like this, especially. So if you guys want access to the Hype Collective, the link is live, and our first group coaching session is May 13th. So every second and fourth Tuesday of the month, I'm going to be doing live coaching sessions similar, to this. We're going to go over tons of different topics, and they're not all going to be like neuroscience. Okay, that's listings, buyers, scripts, systems, leverage, productivity, tons of different stuff that we've got. Plus, what's really cool is that when you guys sign up, then I'm gonna give you a questionnaire to fill out that tells me what's going on in your business, what are your pain points, what are you struggling with. I'm going to take all of that data, all of the questionnaires that you guys fill out, and I am going to then prioritize those things about the topics that we're going to be going over when I'm doing these live coaching sessions every single month. So you get the group coaching sessions twice a month. You get access to this vault, which is insane. We are constantly, my team and I are constantly adding to it, revising it, making it better, so that you guys can take this stuff and utilize it in your business and actually have it help you level up. And then you get access to our community that everyone in the Hype Collective will have a private area in my Discord channel to collaborate, to network, to practice these things, hold each other accountable, get referrals, send referrals. And you know that the types of people that you're around value community. They value being successful, having the right habits, doing the right things, being consistent, holding each other accountable. All of those things, you're going to be able to be a part of a community of people who value those types of things and who take their business seriously and are committed to doing the work that it takes to be successful. So that is what the Hype Collective is about. And if you want 20% off, go run and grab it, because that code is going to be going away here soon. It's Hype20 to get 20% off right now. Go to my profile link, click on my link tree there. First button is going to be the Hype Collective. When it brings you to the web page that tells you all the things that you get, you're going to click buy now. And at that checkout page, you want to first input the code. So Hype20 is the 20% off code. It'll apply that discount, and then you can choose to either pay monthly or for the full year upfront. Many ways to pay, many ways to get connected. So you guys, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, DM me, schedule a call with me, pop in my public Discord area, and you can ask any questions. Everyone that's already a part of the Hype is all in there, so you can reach out to everybody. You're welcome, Destiny. Thank you so much for joining. Hope you guys got some value out of that. Even though we didn't get to wrap up, I got to at least the meat of it, and I'll probably continue on this neuroscience lesson a little bit later. So you guys, you don't have to do this alone. Real estate doesn't have to be something that you are constantly frustrated with. You can be a part of a community of people that are going to actually support you and collaborate with you and not just be your competition. So definitely go check that out. Go get 20% off before that goes away. Thank you so much for the gift, Stylish Bear. Appreciate you. Love you guys. Stay hype. Have a great day, and go implement some of this stuff. See how it works. Okay, bye.